Hello and welcome to West Wales. If you're new here, my name is Becca and I share all things wonderful about slow living in Pembrokeshire, West Wales. And today I'm with my little dog and we're out for a walk. We then have to go to the garden centre to pick up a few supplies, and then it's back to the house to pot a few things up in the cottage garden. So I hope you'll come along for the trip. We're mid-June and so the wildflowers are just changing over from sort of the spring wildflowers to the summer wildflowers. And we're just going down a woodland path, which hopefully eventually will take us out onto the coast. I don't think I've walked down this path since I was a teenager, when I used to come and visit Pembrokeshire to see my grandparents. But I'm pretty sure I remember where this goes. Might be quite a long walk if I don't. Anyway, let's see where it goes. Well, we're not actually going to make it to the beach today because I'm on a time schedule, so I'm going to have to go back, get to the garden centre, get all bits from the garden centre and then get back to the house to actually do some gardening. So yeah, really didn't remember how long and also quite steep this path is, but we're going to do it again. So when I'm not on such a tight time schedule, I'll take you along this path again and we'll actually get to the beach. Anyway, I'm going to crack on and see you back in the car. I'm armed with Andrew's credit card. He does trust me. And garden centre's right behind me. As we're arriving, the heavens open, so I'm just waiting for the rain to stop because Madam does not do rain. And then we're going to go and see what we can find in the garden centre. It's about a 20-minute drive from home to this garden centre, and it really is worth it. It's still family run, but it really is a lovely place to go. And as with most garden centres, you get everything under the sun stock. So not just gardening supplies, but there's gifts galore and quite a lot of local craft as well in this one. Oh, these are super cute. Wellies with animals on. I really don't need another pair, but you know. Everything you might possibly ever need. There's a huge range to choose from here, and they do grow an awful lot of the plants themselves. And this was the bedding plants, which were looking fantastic. I could easily have spent a small fortune here, but I've got to stay on mission because I'm after compost, garden manure, and also a couple of plants, but I'll show you those in a moment. So I've come into the covered area where they've got some vegetable plants and some herbs because we have had a few failures because of the slugs, and I'm just going to turn you around and show you what they've got. There's a wonderful selection of herbs and I could have bought the lot. So I'm going to get a few lettuces. And then I'm very tempted, I'll turn you around, hope you don't get dizzy, very tempted by, look at these lavenders. Oh man. Wow. Gosh, I'm tempted by them. We're back from the garden centre and everybody's out in the garden having a lovely time. and I am going to pot up these little lettuces that I bought, and they are not going to go into the ground because we've got such very kind of free draining stony soil. Oh, hello Millie. And they are going to go into this container. They're not that deep rooted, so I filled the bottom with broken pots that someone, Millie, has had a go at, so that the soil level is going to be about 6 inches. And I'm going to use John Innes potting compost number 2, and it is now peat free, which I'm very, very pleased about. So I found over the years that number 2 really is the best one for our purposes, or certainly for lettuces. If we plant lettuces in the ground, they just get slugged, unsnailed, and they don't do very well. So this hopefully is going to solve that problem. This lovely vintage galvanised pot actually comes out of an old school kitchen, and they used to use it to boil up their tea towels to wash them, and it's rusted through on the bottom, so it had just been thrown out, and a friend of mine found it, and when she moved from Wales back to her native Belgium, she gave it to me. I've got 6 plants, so I'm going to space them out in a circle around the outside, and then just 1 plant in the middle, and that really should give them enough area to actually grow. These are a variety that are supposed to be not susceptible to attack by aphids, so we will see how true that is in a few weeks' time. Once I've planted them out, I need to put them into their final position in the garden, and then of course water them in. We always think of the spring, so sort of March, April, as seed sowing time, but you can actually sow some seeds in June, and I've got a selection of things here, some of which I'm not going to bother with, and some of which I will. So we've got some dwarf French beans, definitely a good one for the summer. Turnips, if I had more space I might do turnips, but I'm not going to do turnips. Swede, again, they take up a lot of space, they're very cheap to buy in the shops, so I probably won't do that. And then Sweet Williams, really love Sweet Williams. They are a biennial, so you start them this time of the year and they will flower the following year. Then perpetual beet, and you can also do chard as well, but we pick sea beet, so won't be doing that one. Radishes, I mean you can pretty much show radishes any time of the year and they'll come up. A lot of the herbs will germinate and crop this time of the year, so we've got some dill, some rocket, some basil, definitely going to be doing some basil. Then the oriental vegetables, so we've got some pak choy, carrots, autumn king, sow those, and lettuces. So although I've just planted out some lettuce plants, I am also going to sow some lettuce seed for a succession of crops, because you can actually have lettuces that will overwinter, particularly if you've got maybe a polytunnel, or if you can put fleece over them to protect them in the winter. So we're going to do some more of those. And what else have we got? Beetroot is a good one. Cut and come again salad. Yeah, and so as I say, most of them are, this is just more carrots and things. So that's going to keep me busy. But before we finish in the garden, I thought it would be a good opportunity to just give you an update on the dye garden. So you may or may not know that I have been growing my own dye plants for the first time ever. I've done a lot of natural dyeing over the years, and generally I forage for my dye stuffs, but I'm actually growing in the garden this year. So I will turn the camera around and just show you how it's all getting on. Back in the early spring, I sowed a selection of seeds, and one of them was marigolds, and they are just about to flower. And they probably have been the most successful in terms of growing, and they haven't been slugged, which is quite incredible. So I just sort of, oh, you can see my shadow. So they're in a raised bed. It's a very sunny spot, so they should do pretty well. Oh, and now the dog's going to sit on all the things I've just planted. I've had slightly less success with some other things. I planted some red onions for the onion skins. the slugs ate them all. I planted some devil's bit scabious and got very small amount of germination. I have got about 3 plants, but I just don't think that's going to be enough for actually dying with the flowers. I planted some madder, didn't germinate. I wasn't expecting to have it germinate, in all honesty, because generally madder is better grown from root cuttings. Then woad and weld, and they all germinated really well, and I planted them out. The weld has done the best, and the woad got slugged. I think I need to get over not using slug pellets because I have had so many things eaten this year. I also planted some Dyer's chamomile. That's done very well, and that really hasn't been slugged. And things are now starting to sort of grow away. So the things that were slugged really badly, actually, I think they're going to survive. So, apart from the red onion. So we'll just go into the other part of the garden and I'll show you what it looks like. So there's the woad, and that plant's okay, but the rest of them are looking a bit small. I think they will recover. Oh, and you can see the shadow of my phone, that's really funny. Then we have the Dyer's chamomile, and I think that's flower buds in there. So that hopefully a few weeks' time we'll get some dye out of that. So this is the weld, and we won't get any dye out of this until next year when it throws up its flower spikes. But they're surviving in our terrible, terrible soil. So fingers crossed, next year we'll have some dye from them as well. So I'm fairly conscious that when I started this channel, it was really all about fibre arts, and actually come the summer I don't really do that much fibre arts, I've realised, as I come to sort of trying to make a couple of videos a week, and actually haven't picked up my knitting in about 10 days and haven't done any spinning for about 3 weeks. So yeah, I hope you don't mind kind of seeing the garden and having a look what's going on. And I guess if you don't want to watch it, you won't, will you? So I don't really know why I'm worrying. Anyway, it's lovely to show you all these things, and I really do love sharing the beautiful countryside in West Wales. And I've been trying to think of a word that describes what these videos are. And it's kind of vlog, or is it slow living? I don't know, I'm not really quite sure. If you've got a brilliant idea as to how I sort of give this an elevator pitch, if you like, then yeah, that would be really great. And leave a comment below. I love having the comments, and I do always answer them. Don't always answer them absolutely on the same day, but I do always get back to people. And you know how YouTube works, so it would be fantastic if you would like, subscribe, and all those things that you have to do that sort of make this whole process work. So it's quite a short video for me this week. I'll probably be another one end of the week, but for this part of the week, and fingers crossed we'll be back on topic, as in fibre arts, in the next video. But I'm pretty sure it's actually not going to have any spinning in it. But I think I've got an idea for a really good discussion. So I will see you in a few days' time. Bye for now.